This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. The VI Department of Health is calling on the public right now to continue practicing COVID safety measures as active cases have been on an upward trend territory-wide. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are currently 94 active COVID cases throughout the territory, with 63 on St. Croix, 31 active cases on St. Thomas, and no active cases still on St. John. These latest numbers are more than double what they were last week, when there were 44 total cases across the territory. Also, the health department confirming Wednesday the 126th death linked to COVID-19 in the USVI. A man who was 93 years old died on St. Croix. The Biden administration, in the meantime, wants more Americans to get their COVID-19 booster shots, so it's launching a 6-week campaign to encourage people to do so. The campaign will target seniors in communities which were hardest hit by the disease. So far, more than 35 million Americans have gotten their updated shots, but that number is very low considering 267 million got their initial COVID-19 vaccine. The administration's hoping to put a dent in that number with this new 6-week campaign. It is National Influenza Vaccination Week, and U.S. health officials say this year's flu shot appears to stand up well to the strains that are circulating, but it appears many Americans are not taking advantage of it. Here's the latest flu data and whether it's too late to get vaccinated.
Across much of the country, cases of the flu continue to rise. The CDC is estimating there have been at least 8.7 million flu illnesses, 78,000 hospitalizations, and 4,500 flu deaths so far this season.
Hospitalizations for flu continue to be the highest we have seen at this time of year in a decade.
The CDC says this year's flu shot appears to be a very good match to circulating strains, but vaccination rates for flu are lower compared to the same time last year, especially among those who are most vulnerable. The latest CDC data shows through the end of October, flu vaccinations are down about 12% for pregnant women from the same point in 2021. Rates for seniors down about 3 percentage points in that same time period. And flu vaccinations for children are down about 5% compared to where they were before the COVID-19 pandemic. U.S. health officials say getting a flu shot is key to protecting yourself and those around you.
We see 35% decreased rates of hospitalization, even when we don't have a good match, which really just emphasizes when we do have a good match how much more effective it will be.
If you haven't gotten a flu shot yet, health leaders say it is not too late. Getting it now is better than not at all.
The CDC director also says the agency is aware of some reports of shortages for both antivirals and antibiotics during this rough virus season. She urges doctors, though, not to prescribe antibiotics for illnesses caused by viruses. The VI Health Department is encouraging everyone, especially pregnant women, to schedule a flu vaccination appointment. The numbers to do so are on your screen. On St. Thomas, you can call 340-774-7477. On St. Croix, the number to schedule your flu vaccination shot is 340-718-1311. There is a promising new treatment for a common and sometimes deadly form of cancer, melanoma, and doctors are hoping this groundbreaking advance could hold the key for treating other types of cancer as well. Stephanie Gosk explains.
The leading cause of melanoma beats down on us every day. In the last 30 years, cases of this deadly form of skin cancer have been on the rise. But Bruce Hawley is living proof that a new treatment could dramatically improve prognosis.
This stuff works. Guess what? A lot of people are going to be able to benefit from it.
Hawley was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma. A mole on his foot turned into tumors throughout his body. Treatment wasn't working until doctors tried a new therapy called TIL, tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes.
Over the course of 3 months, it diminished 70%.
TIL therapy relies on a patient's own immune cells, harvesting them from a tumor, growing the cells from millions to billions, and then transplanting them back to go after the cancer.
Those immune cells can recognize the cancer and secrete proteins that poke holes in the cancer, causing them to explode in a process called apoptosis.
A study out today followed 168 patients with metastatic melanoma. For those who received TIL, the risk of their cancer progressing was 50% less compared to those who got a different immune therapy. 20% of TIL recipients saw their tumors disappear entirely, compared to 7% in the other group. FDA approval for TIL therapy could come next year. Researchers at the Moffitt Cancer Center believe that could be just the beginning.
TIL therapy will be a game changer for many kinds of cancers.
It's already been a game changer for Holly.
Life's exciting, and God's given me the opportunity to do it again.
In big news, WNBA star Brittany Griner is free today after the Biden administration negotiated her release from a penal colony in Russia in exchange for a notorious Russian arms dealer. President Joe Biden signed off on the trade, even though it meant leaving behind Paul Whelan, an American corporate security executive who remains jailed in Russia. The move marks one of the most high-profile prisoner swaps between Moscow and Washington since the Cold War, with the Kremlin seeking the return of Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, who had served 11 years of a 25-year sentence in the U.S. Griner's return to the United States will cap a months-long saga, which began in February when she was detained at Moscow's airport after Russian authorities found vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. Meantime, Whelan is serving a 16-year prison sentence after being accused of spying, which he and the U.S. have denied. On St. Croix, VIPD officers make a quick arrest after a man reportedly robbed a restaurant for the second time in a month. 21-year-old Akimoy Simmons is facing robbery charges. Police got called out to the Spicy Grill restaurant in Estate Golden Grove around 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. Victims say a man entered the business and was recognized as the same suspect from a previous robbery at the restaurant back on November 18th. Officers responded quickly to the scene, were able to track him down and arrested him just 12 minutes after the initial 911 call. Police say Simmons is a UVI student and is currently on conditional release from 2 previous robberies in 2020 in which his accomplice fired shots at pursuing police officers. Typing into Google gives the tech giant a unique perspective into what people are thinking. Elise Preston has a closer look at what was on Americans' minds this year.
The top trending Google search in 2022 can be summed up in a word. Yes, we're talking about the widely popular game Wordle, which gives players 6 chances to guess the word of the day.
I feel like it popped up out of nowhere and everyone was obsessed within like a day or so.
Totally. It became one of those viral games. Yes, lots of questions about how to play, but also some searches that make me think people might be cheating.
Google's Sarah Armstrong says the second top trending search was election results as people looked for the midterm winners. Those we lost rounded out the top 5, Queen Elizabeth, Betty White, and Bob Saget.
I've never struck a woman in my life.
In Google's People category, thanks to the Depp v. Heard defamation trial, actor Johnny Depp took the top spot, with ex-wife Amber Heard occupying number 3. Will Smith was the second most searched person. He went viral after slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Good morning, aviators.
Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick landed in Google's number 3 spot for most searched movies.
Jane?
Thor: Love and Thunder was second, with the animated film Encanto on top. COVID queries are still common, including PCR tests near me. But a lot of people are thinking about fuel cost.
This year was gas prices near me that made the very top of the near me list. Those gas prices skyrocketed this year.
Americans were also looking for ways to lend a hand. The phrase, how to help, hit an all-time high in 2022, a search trend that may offer some optimism heading into 2023.
This weekend on St. Thomas, you should check out a fun event at Antilles School. The public's invited to kick off the winter season with the school's annual Holiday Bazaar. They say it's your one-stop shop for gifts and fun. You could browse many local vendor stalls, grab a bite to eat, and kids are going to be able to enjoy a range of activities. Or you can also stop at their famous Photos with Santa booth that's going to be there. The Humane Society of St. Thomas will be on hand as well, one of the vendors, and will have available vouchers to get your pet spayed or neutered for free. A lot of local vendors will be on hand this Saturday. The Antilles School Bazaar runs from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 p.m.